what are some things that a nursing home operators can do today in-house that might be able to help them somewhat, and maybe even give us just like one or two things that might be able to do to help them with this process? Something they can implement right away.
So I think that to touch on a point that we've spoken about in the past, which is so common, every single billing team has to have a incorporated into a organization or facilities billing team. There has to be a team or individual that's dedicated on watching the patient from the point of admission to discharge, making sure that you're working proactively. Okay, and we could talk about, there's a lot of different aspects that go into it, right? Because every payer source has their own requirement. So what do I do on a Medicare patient to make sure that I'm watching it proactively? What do I do on an HMO patient? So there's obviously, we're not going to get into that because every payer source specifically has its own answers, but you need to incorporate in your billing team a team that's watching patient stays on a proactive basis so that you're not falling victim to being reactive.
Okay.
And by the way, that's just it's a staffing thing, right? It's about making sure I shouldn't say staffing thing because I'm going to get to the staffing discussion in a minute, but it's a manpower thing. People underestimate the manpower that's necessary to have a high level operation, and this is something that's absolutely key. If you don't have a proactive person, you will fail inevitably, and it's not maybe you'll fail, you will fail. There is an absolute need to watch something on a proactive basis and not just work reactively.
So this is not something to just add to a receptionist that between phone calls to try to look through a spreadsheet and
Correct.
try. This is something that requires. So it sounds like it requires two things. This has to be like a priority, a focus for whoever it is that's tracking the patients, and there's also they have to have some level of competence with the Medicaid, Medicare, managed care of how reimbursement works and what are the things that are important today that will affect reimbursement down the road. Because we know that the payment may not come for 60, 90 days. But right now, me filling out this form right now with insurance and getting that prior authorization or sending the update in a timely, manner, and even just developing relationships, with the case managers at the insurance companies, these are things that are critical to the success of fully collecting on the care that we deliver, the fantastic care. So you're saying personnel, just having someone dedicated to this, yeah, obviously that is key. What does that person really need to be the expert in all of these things?
Yes, because you have every payer source walking through the door on every single facility out there, right? So you need to be watching Medicare's, HMOs, Medicaid, patient portion, patient liability, private pay. You need to be experienced and knowledgeable and proficient in
Right.
the rules and regulations that apply to each payer source.